It's 9 p.m. Monday night. While the rest of the world slows down, you're tuning in to the Final Boss podcast. This is Motivation Mondays, where mindsets shift, hustle gets honored, and the 6 pillars of success get broken all the way down. We're talking motivation, resilience, sacrifice, consistency, persistence, and perseverance. Hosted by the one and only Turbotheceo, bringing real talk, raw stories, and relentless energy to spark your week with purpose. So lock in, take notes, and remember, success ain't just a dream, it's a discipline.
Welcome to the Final Boss Podcast. Monday night, Motivation Monday. Listen, it's Motivation Monday, man. You know how we do it. To each and every last single one of you out there, thank you for joining us. Listen, this is Motivation Monday. Motivation Monday. Motivation Monday. Motivation Monday. Let's get some drunk. Motivation Monday. All right, that's enough. Oh, man, I hope everyone is doing well out there. I hope you're doing well. Listen. Oops, I didn't want to do that. Let me get back to that. Here we go. All right. Well, that's kind of small. Don't want that. Ugh. That sucks. Okay. I'm over here experimenting. Just a little. There we go. Back to normal. All right. So, hey, Jacondi. Thank you. Hopefully you can stay for the entire show. Tonight is a deep one. We're going deep tonight. Pause. On Motivation Monday, right? We are going deep because of the state of the world right now. It looks like from all outside appearances, the state of the world is on fire. It literally appears that the world is on fire. So that's what we're going to be talking about for episode number 140, on our way to episode number 200. Episode number 200, people. Look, let me tell you, to each and every last single one of you, thank you for joining us. And I'm glad you're here. And if this is your first time, welcome. This is the Final Boss Podcast. And I am the Final Boss. And I am here. Yeah. Look, please continue to send us your emails, feedback, and continue to drop comments on whatever social media platform you see us on, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitch, Kick, Spotify for your listening pleasures, and YouTube. Oh, and then make sure you go check out our website. Our website is www.TheFinalBossPodcast.com, and you can get all of the episodes on there. That's www.TheFinalBossPodcast.com. Make sure that you can log into that and send us an email at info@TheFinalBossPodcast.com. That's info, INFO, at TheFinalBossPodcast.com, to make sure that we receive your emails for feedback, man. And yeah. Thank you. Thank you. And as always, this is for entertainment purposes only. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Welcome to the 140th episode of the Final Boss Podcast. And tonight's episode is called The world is on fire. But your fired up train keeps moving. The fired up train keeps moving. And before we get into it, man, let's go ahead and rock with our brass tacks of the evening. Brass tacks is coming from Reverend Brianne. Reverend Brianne. And here it is. The world is on fire, but we have been given buckets. Woo! 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 The world may be on fire, but we have been given buckets. Man, shout out to Reverend Brianne for that quote. Man, that's powerful, man. Listen, the world's on fire, but we have been given buckets, right? It's just like well, it's not the same, but yeah. And let that marinate in your spine, right? Whoo, man, that's powerful right there. Yeah. So, to my final bosses, to my warriors, to my motivators, to my smarts. We are here, the Final Boss family, Final Boss Nation, building one community on this journey together. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. And I'm your host who's bringing it all together. But I'm also the conductor of the fired up train, right? I am the conductor. So, I am coming to you tonight for Motivation Monday. Motivation Monday. And family, look, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to lie to you, right? I never lie to you. But I have to give you that disclaimer. Today's episode is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be still motivational, but we're going to be talking about some tough topics. Today, we're going to be looking at the world exactly as it is, not as a fairy tale, right? Not in a fictional state, right? Looking at the world exactly as it is. No sugarcoating, no fake positivity, no pretending. Everything's okay when it's not. We're not pretending everything's okay because we know it's not. Because here's the truth, warriors, final bosses, smarts, and motivators. The world is on fire right now. The world's on fire. And I'm not talking about metaphorically. Yeah, metaphorically. I'm not talking metaphorically. I'm talking literally and figuratively. We're living in one of the most challenging periods in modern human history. And if you're feeling overwhelmed, anxious, discouraged right now, you're not crazy. You're not alone. You're just paying attention. But you have to ask yourself, why are you paying attention? And look, before we get started, I'm going to go ahead and throw all the flags on the play for the state of the world. Just throw all the flags, right? Stay with me. But here's the thing. Here's why you tuned in to the Final Boss podcast today. Here's why you're part of the smarts community, the Final Boss community, the warrior community, the motivator community, right? Because we don't just acknowledge the darkness. We don't just acknowledge the darkness. We learn to shine brighter in it. We don't just survive the storm. We use it to power our what? Fired up train. Whew. So today, We're going on a little journey together, right? We're taking a field trip. We're going to look at the real state of the world right now, the economic chaos, the political division, the environmental crisis, the mental health epidemic, the technological disruptions, all of it. And then we're going to do what? We're going to do what final bosses do. We're going to find the fuel in the fire. We're going to discover how to keep your train moving when the whole world feels like it's falling apart. Mhm. This Motivation Monday, episode number 140, the world is on fire, but your fired up train keeps moving. It's time. It's time to board, Final Boss family. It is time to board. So let's start. Let's get started, right? Let's get started with what's hitting everyone's wallet, right? I like talking about money. Let's talk about what's hitting everybody's wallet right now. The economic reality of 2025. Family, the numbers don't lie. Global inflation has been crushing ordinary people. In the US, grocery prices are up 30 to 40%. They are. I don't care what anybody says. This is factual information that I'm providing to you. I can tell you and show you from my own receipts from the purchases I buy. 10 items, I don't care what they are, it's going to cost you about $100. I don't care what it is. It's going to cost you about $100. Yeah, things are up 30 to 40%. And that's based off information from 3 years ago, right? Housing costs. Go look at the housing costs. Housing costs have skyrocketed. The average home price has nearly doubled in many markets since 2020. Rent is eating 50 to 60% of people's income. And look, I'm not even going to talk about the average price for a car note. Well above $500. Well above it, right? And it's not just America. It's not just us. Around the world, people are struggling. In developing nations, food insecurity has reached crisis levels. In Europe, energy costs have devastated household budgets. In Asia, young people are facing unemployment rates that have crushed their dreams of independence. The middle class, the backbone of stable societies, is being hollowed out. People are working 2, 3, maybe more jobs just to maintain what used to be the normal standard of living. Student debt, medical debt, credit card debt is crushing dreams before they even get started. Now, listen, Final Bosses, Final Boss family, and that's my motivators, smarts, warriors. You guys are included in this too. I can spend the next hour just listing the economic problems, right? But that's not why I'm here, and that's not why you're here. And I'm talking to you. So stay with me. That's not why you're here. You want to know, how do I keep my fired up train moving when my bank account says stop? Right? When my bank account says stop. And here's what I know from building multiple businesses through economic chaos. Economic pressure reveals what you're really made of. When money gets tight, character gets tested. And warriors understand something that victims don't. Scarcity creates innovation. Scarcity creates innovation. Some of the greatest businesses in history were born, in recessions. Some of the most valuable skills were developed by people who couldn't afford formal education. Some of the strongest families were forged in financial struggle. Your economic circumstances are not your economic destiny. And I'm not saying it's easy. I'm saying it's possible. And the fired up train principle that applies here is sacrifice and persistence, right? What will you forego today for the financial freedom you want tomorrow? What will you forego? Listen, man. What will you forego? What skills will you develop while others are complaining? What value will you create that solves problems people actually have? The economy might be broken, but your capacity and capability isn't. Your creativity isn't. Your work ethic isn't. And those are the assets that create wealth in any economy. Any economy, right? Because the economy might be broken, right? There's all types of economic storms. And this is the first, and this isn't the last. Economic storms don't sink ships. They reveal which captains know how to navigate. And Final Boss family, we're learning right now how to navigate. So keep your train moving. And let's talk about this, man. Let's talk about something that's tearing families apart, destroying friendships, poisoning communities. You want to know what it is? You want to know? Of course you want to know. Political and social division. Listen, Final Bosses. We're living through a level of division that many historians compare to pre-Civil War periods. In the US, Democrats and Republicans don't just disagree. They fundamentally don't trust each other. 70% of people believe the other political party is a threat to the nation. But it's just not about politics. It's race, it's religion, it's gender, it's sexuality, it's generation, it's geography. Every possible fault line is being exploited and widened. Social media algorithms are designed to show us content that makes us angry because anger drives engagement. Engagement drives profit. I've been saying that since day one. The result of that, families aren't speaking, friendships are ending, communities fracturing, violence, violence is widespread. Trust is at an all-time low. And every side absolutely convinced they're the good guys fighting the evil others. And that's is the story around the world. It's even worse in some places. You have ethnic conflicts, you have religious wars, yes, you have nationalism that's rising, democracy declining, authoritarian leaders gaining power by exploiting the division. Now, you might be thinking, Final Boss, how is this motivational? This is sad. This is depressing. But I'm here to tell you, stay with me, motivators. Stay with me, warriors. Stay with me, final bosses. Stay with me, smarts. Stay with me, because the truth will set you free, right? You cannot control the division in the world, but you can control whether you participate in it. You can control that part. And Final Boss family, I'm here to tell you, when the world is splitting apart, leaders are the ones who build bridges. When everyone else is choosing sides, Final Boss family, we're choosing character. When the mob is screaming for blood, warriors are seeking understanding. And this is what connects us to the fired up train. The principle of resilience. The world's division is testing whether you will maintain your character when it would be easier to hate, whether you're seeking truth when lies are more convenient, whether you will love when love is most difficult. And here's your mission: be the person in your family who refuses to participate in the hatred. Be the friend who can maintain relationships across political lines. Be the community member who builds bridges instead of burning them. Listen, you can make a difference. We're Final Boss. We're part of the Final Boss Nation, Final Boss community, and we're on this journey together, and we are putting these things together. We can stand apart. We can lead. This is what we're doing. And let me tell you, you may ask yourself, does this mean you don't stand for anything? No, not at all. Hell no. It means you stand for character over tribe. It means you're willing to disagree without dehumanizing. You could disagree without dehumanizing. It means you're smart. And it means you're smart enough to recognize that the most issues are complex. And people who disagree with you aren't automatically evil, right? The world needs fewer warriors for their political party and more warriors for human dignity. The fired up train doesn't stop in to join the mob. It keeps moving towards something better. You have to be the one to want to bring unity. Be the one you want to see, right? Be the unity you want to see. You don't have to indulge in the foolishness. Your fired up train can and will keep moving. And listen, Final Boss family, Final Boss Nation, let's talk about something that's affecting every single person listening right now. I don't care who you are. The mental health crisis in the world is astounding. The statistics are absolutely devastating. Depression and anxiety are at record highs globally. Youth suicide rates have skyrocketed. Loneliness has been declared a public health epidemic. And this was before the pandemic, which made everything worse. In the US alone, mental health related emergency room visits are up over 40%. Antidepressant and anti-anxiety medication use is at an all-time high. Therapy wait lists are months long. And this isn't just an American problem, it's global. It's global, people. Listen, you want to know why? Social media is showing us everyone's highlight reel while we're living behind the scenes, right? Economic pressure creating constant stress. political division creating tribal warfare, climate anxiety about the future, technology moving faster than humans can adapt, isolation despite connection, meaning crisis despite material abundance. Family, I'm going to be real with you. I'm going to be real. We've been here before. I've been there. I've had dark nights. I felt the weight of depression pressing down like drowning in the air. I've been through a lot. You guys have no clue. I've been to 3 war deployments, 2 of which were combat. You have no idea. But what I'm here to tell you is that you're not alone. You aren't alone. I've experienced anxiety that made my heart race. I've experienced anxiety that made me pass out. And I know many of you are there right now. So here's what I need you to do, and this is what I want you to. This is what I need you to hear. Your mental health struggles don't make you weak. They don't. You make you human. They make you human. And humans can heal. The fired up train saves lives. The fired up train saves lives. Adapt the principle of the fired up train. And here's how it can save your life. Through resilience and consistency. Mental health is not a destination. It's a practice. It's not something you achieve once. It's something you maintain daily. And here's the truth that therapy and medication companies don't always emphasize. You have more power over your mental health than you think. You may not have complete power, but you have power. Brain chemistry is real. Trauma is real. Clinical conditions are real, but you still have power. There are daily practices scientifically proven to improve mental health. Exercise is one. Sunlight is another. Social connections is another. Involving yourself in purpose-driven work. Gratitude practice. Sleep hygiene. Limiting your social media. Volunteering. Helping others. All of those things, you know what they have in common? They're all free. They're all free and they're accessible and they work. They work. Does this replace therapy or medication for those who need it? No, I'm not saying that. Absolutely not. But it works alongside with it. It creates the foundation for healing. And if you're a final boss, here's your perspective. Your mental health struggles are teaching you empathy. They're building your resilience. They're preparing you to help others who are struggling. Some of the most impactful mental health advocates are people who've been in the darkness and found their way out. Your pain has purpose. Your struggle has meaning. Your healing will inspire others, right? And the fired up train acknowledges mental health challenges without being defined by them. We seek help when we need it. We practice daily maintenance. We support each other. We keep moving. Your mind might be battling, but your spirit is a warrior, is strong. Keep your train moving one day at a time, sometimes 1 hour at a time, sometimes one breath at a time. That's enough. Remember, you're enough. Keep moving, right? Keep moving. Just like the fired up train. Man, I love lemonade. Oh man, I love lemonade. Final Boss family, Final Boss Nation. We need to talk about the elephant in the room. Actually, the burning planet in the room. Climate change and environmental crisis. The facts are undeniable. 2024 has been the hottest year on record. We've seen extreme weather events, hurricanes, floods, droughts, wildfires. These things have increased in frequency and intensity. Sea levels are rising, ice caps are melting, biodiversity is collapsing at unprecedented rates. And this isn't just environmental, it's economic and it's humanitarian. Climate refugees are already a reality. Food security is being threatened. Water scarcity is causing conflicts. Insurance companies are pulling out of high-risk areas. Entire industries built on fossil fuels are facing existential challenges. The developing world, which contribute least to climate change, is suffering most from its effects. Island nations are literally disappearing. Agricultural communities are facing crop failures. Coastal cities are planning for inevitable flooding. Now, Final Boss family, I know what y'all thinking. Man, Final Boss, how is this Motivation Monday? Why are you talking about climate change? Because, yes, I'm talking to you. Listen, because Final Bosses, motivators, smarts, warriors, we all understand that crisis creates opportunity. Problems create purpose. Challenges create careers. The environmental crisis is real. It's urgent. It's serious. And it's also the greatest business opportunity of our lifetime. The transition to sustainable energy, sustainable agriculture, sustainable transportation, sustainable every damn thing. This is going to create more wealth, more innovation, and more careers than any previous industrial revolution, period. And guess what? Guess what? The fired up train principle that you need to learn from, that you can put in place, is perseverance and motivation. Environmental change requires long-term thinking, sustained effort, and purpose-driven action. And here's an opportunity: whatever your career is, whatever your business is, whatever your skills are, there's a way to align them with environmental solutions. Are you an entrepreneur? Are you in green tech? Because if you're an entrepreneur, green technology needs you. Are you a marketer? Sustainable brands need your skills. Are you a builder? The world needs energy, efficient construction. Are you a teacher? The next generation of teachers needs environmental education. And here's what we can do right now, starting today. This is what we can do to make a difference. We could automatically, and it doesn't cost anything, we can reduce consumption. We could choose sustainable options when possible. Support companies making genuine environmental efforts. We could vote for leaders who take climate change seriously. We can educate each other. Make your business or career more sustainable. Innovate solutions in your field. Use your platform to raise awareness, like the Final Boss podcast and the Final Boss Nation and the Final Boss community. Stay with me, right? Stay with me. You can invest in green companies, right? Family, some of the most impactful environmental leaders started as regular people who decided to make a difference. Greta Thunberg was a teenager with a sign. She was a teenager. Many renewable energy entrepreneurs were just engineers who saw an opportunity. Environmental activists were citizens who got fed up and organized. Your generation has the opportunity to be the heroes who save the planet, not through guilt and sacrifice, but through innovation and determination, not through poverty, but through a new definition of prosperity, a new lens, right? The fired up train runs on clean energy, the energy of purpose, innovation, and collective action. The destination is a sustainable future where prosperity and environmental health aren't enemies. This isn't just about saving the planet, it's about creating the kind of world where your grandchildren, their grandchildren, and their grandchildren can thrive. That's legacy, man. That's legacy. And that's what we do in the Final Boss community. That's Final Boss vision. Your train keeps moving. It keeps moving toward a greener, more sustainable future. Listen, it's all aboard time. It is all aboard, right? And I'm here to tell you, right? I'm here to tell you that technology, technology, artificial intelligence, and automation. And I'm not just talking about language models. I'm talking about AI that has the capabilities of diagnosing diseases better than doctors. AI that can write code better than many programmers. AI that can create art, music, videos that are indistinguishable from human creation. We're talking about automation, robots that can manufacture products without human hands, robots that can manufacture more robots. We're talking about self-driving vehicles that can possibly threaten millions of transportation jobs. McKinsey estimates that up to 800 million jobs globally could be displaced by automation in the next four and a half years, because 2025 is over. And that's not decades away. You're talking about four and a half years, right? That's within our lifetime. Our lifetime. Customer service, data entry, bookkeeping, manufacturing, transportation, even some creative fields are all being disrupted. And the pace is accelerating. Every month brings new AI capabilities. New AI capabilities come out every month that would have seemed impossible a year ago. Industries that have existed for centuries are being transformed or eliminated within the next couple of years. Young people entering the workforce, they're being told to train for careers that might not exist by the time they graduate. Mid-career professionals, the skills they've spent decades developing might go obsolete. And for my older generation, they're facing a job market crisis that they've never seen before. that has changed beyond recognition. Now, this sounds depressing, right? It sounds depressing. Or it could be liberating. It could be liberating because technology doesn't eliminate human value. It clarifies it. And listen, Final Boss family, AI can process information faster than you and I can at an alarming rate, but it can't care. Not yet, anyway. It can't recognize patterns, but it can, and it can recognize patterns, but it can't feel empathy. It can optimize systems, but it can't inspire people. It can follow instructions, but it can't create meaning. Listen, the fired up train principle here: persistence and motivation. Specifically, the motivation to develop the unique human capabilities that AI can't replace. You can create an AI survival strategy, right? Develop character-based skills like leadership, emotional intelligence, complex relationship building, strategic thinking, creative problem solving, ethical decision making. These are the skills that will matter most in the AI world. You have to start focusing on more human connection, building communities. The more automated our world becomes, the more valuable genuine human connection becomes. Build real relationships, develop communication skills, master the art of trust building. Embrace continuous learning. The days of learning one skill for life are over. And final bosses, warriors, smarts, and motivators, you need to learn how to adapt. You need to learn how to adapt. Learn AI as a tool, not as a threat. Understand how to work alongside technology rather than compete with it, right? Create art with a soul, leadership with character, innovation with purpose, service with compassion. These are irreplaceable. And here's the opportunity that many are missing: the AI revolution will create more jobs than it eliminates. They're not telling you that. Just different types of jobs. Someone has to train the AI. Someone has to maintain the systems. Someone has to decide what problems are worth solving. Someone has to ensure technology serves humanity rather than replacing it. And you know what's interesting? You know what's interesting about the last technological revolution? People were talking about the same thing then as they're talking about what's going on now. They predicted mass unemployment then, right? They did. People were afraid of the steam engine. They were afraid of electricity. They've been afraid of computers. Each time people feared machines would replace humans, and you know what happened? New jobs were created. New industries emerged. Human prosperity increased. This AI revolution will be the same, but only for those who adapt, only for those who develop the human skills that matter, only for those who see technology as a tool for human flourishing rather than a threat to human existence. And yes, I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you. So stay with me, right? The fired up train doesn't fear automation. It uses it as fuel. You're not competing with AI. You're learning to dance with it. You're not being replaced. You're being upgraded to focus on the work that actually requires a human soul. When AI threatens jobs, humans develop souls, and souls are irreplaceable. Your train keeps moving toward a future where human creativity, character, and connection matter more than ever. More than ever. Right? Man, I'm hot. I'm burning up right now. Let's talk about something else, man. Let's talk about something else. Let's talk about something that's poisoning everything else. The death of shared truth and the information crisis. Information crisis. Final Boss family, Final Boss nation. We're living in an area where object reality itself is being disputed. It's not just that people disagree on solutions. They can't even agree on what the problems are. They can't even agree on basic facts, right? Social media has created vast echo chambers where people only see information that confirms their existing beliefs, their own ideologies. Misinformation spreads faster than truth. Deep fakes make it impossible to trust what you see or hear. Traditional trusted institutions, media, government, academia, science have lost credibility with huge segments of the population, right? And it's not just accidental misinformation, it's weaponized disinformation. Foreign governments and domestic bad actors deliberately spread lies to divide and weaken societies. Conspiracy theories replacing critical thinking, tribal loyalty replacing truth seeking, right? Pandemic origins and treatments became so politicized that people literally died because they couldn't agree on basic medical facts. Election integrity has been questioned to the point where democracy itself is undermined. Climate science is denied despite overwhelming evidence. You could look out the window and see that. Historical facts are being rewritten. That's a fact. Expert opinion is being dismissed as elitism. And what you want to know what the result is? You want to know what the result is? You want to know? Oh, you do? Yes, I know you do. The result, nobody knows the truth anymore. Or more accurately, everybody believes different truths. And when there's no shared reality, there's no basis for meaningful dialogue or or collective problem solving, right? Final Boss family, Final Boss nation, this might be the most dangerous crisis we face because you can't solve economic problems if you can't agree on economic reality. You can't address climate change if you can't agree on climate data. You can't heal division if you can't agree on historical facts. So, what do my warriors do? What do my final bosses do? What do my motivators do? What do my smarts do when the truth itself is under attack? The fired up train principle here is consistency. and resilience. Specifically, the consistency to seek truth even when lies are more comfortable, and the resilience to hold on to truth even when it's unpopular, right? Diversify your sources. Don't just read what confirms your beliefs. Intentionally seek perspectives that challenge you. To my smarts, you as individuals want truth. You don't want comfort. You have to check your emotional responses. Emotional intelligence is key. If information makes you really angry or really afraid, that's a sign that you need to verify it. Our emotions make us vulnerable to manipulation. You want to know who benefits from that? You want to know? Hmm? Hmm? You want to know who benefits? Ask who benefits from you believing this information. Misinformation usually serves someone's agenda. Before you amplify information, verify it. You're responsible for what information you spread. Stop spreading rumors. Verify the information, right? Value the expertise while maintaining skepticism. Experts can be wrong. I can be wrong. I'm wrong all the time. I'm wrong all of the time. But they're right more often than amateurs. Trust credentials while maintaining critical thinking. But here's the deeper truth: when truth dies, character decides. Bars. Right? When truth dies, character decides. When you can't trust external sources, you have to trust internal compass. When facts are disputed, values become more of your guide. When information is weaponized, integrity is your defense. This is why I focus so much on character development, because a person with developed character, someone who values truth over tribalism, evidence over emotion, principle over party, that person can navigate an information crisis. And you know what's interesting? Throughout history, periods of information crisis have produced some of the greatest thinkers and truth seekers. The printing press disrupted information monopolies. The internet disrupted traditional media. Each time new systems of truth verification emerged. We're in that transition right now. And the people who will thrive are those who develop the character to seek the truth, the wisdom, and the wisdom to recognize it, and the courage to speak it, even when it's unpopular. The fired up train doesn't run on lies, it runs on truth, even uncomfortable truth, especially uncomfortable truth, because truth might hurt temporarily, but lies destroy permanently. Be the person in your community who values truth over tribalism. Be the final boss who does the work to verify information. Be the motivator who teaches others to think critically. When truth dies, character decides. And your character is what keeps your train moving in the right direction. Stay true, stay curious, stay smart. Your train keeps moving towards clarity, towards truth, toward wisdom, towards wisdom. And Final Boss family, let me tell you, the loneliness pandemic, I was just talking to someone about this earlier. The loneliness pandemic is real. The U.S. Surgeon General has declared loneliness a public health crisis, equivalent to smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Young people, despite being more connected than ever through social media, report the highest levels of loneliness in history. Nearly half of Americans report feeling lonely on a regular basis, but it's just not feeling alone when you're by yourself. It's feeling alone in a crowd. It's having 1,000 social media friends, but no one to call in a crisis. It's being married, but emotionally disconnected. It's being surrounded by people, but feeling fundamentally unseen and unknown. The stats are devastating. Loneliness increases mortality risk by 26%. It's associated with increased rates of depression, anxiety, unaliving, heart disease, and dementia. It affects immune system functions. It literally shortens your lifespan. And get this, the causes are systemic. The causes are systemic. Social media replacing real connection, urban design that isolates people in individual homes, work from home increasing professional isolation. Churches, clubs, community centers are disappearing. Geographic mobility separating families, economic pressure reducing time for relationships. Final Boss Nation, we all are experiencing this right now. Right now. We're all building businesses. We're grinding for success. We're focused. We're achieving goals and looking around to realize there's no one around. It's just you succeeding alone. Having professional connections, but no real friendships. Being known publicly, but unknown personally. And to that fact, I'm going to tell you, across all my social media platforms at Turbodillard or at The Final Boss and at TheFinalBoss_podcast, I have over 350,000 followers. I could count on one hand how many friends I have. And out of those friends, on one hand, one individual I'm not related to. Yeah, this is real. Publicly known, but unknown personally. And you see it everywhere. Entrepreneurs who sacrifice relationships for success, parents so busy providing for their families that they're disconnected from their families, young people with thousands of followers, but zero genuine friends. Zero. And you know what the fired up train principle is here? We're talking about motivation and sacrifice. Specifically, the motivation to prioritize connection and the sacrifice of convenience for community. And here's the truth that productivity obsessed culture that we live in doesn't want you to know. Relationships are not a luxury, they're a necessity. Human beings are social creatures. We literally need connection to survive and thrive. Your success means nothing if you're successful alone. And here's how you can fix your anti-loneliness, right? We talked about auditing relationships last night, right? We talked about that. Who do you have that's real, vulnerable, reciprocal, right? Not acquaintances, not professional connections. We're talking about real friends. If the number is low or zero, that's your wake up call. That's the alarm going off, right? That's something you need to fix. And just like your schedule for work, schedule relationship time, weekly dinners, monthly hangouts, regular check-ins. Make it non-negotiable. Be the initiator. Stop waiting for others to reach out. Be the person who creates connection. Host the dinner, organize the outing, make the call. You don't need 100 friends. You need good 3 to 5 really deep relationships, right? That are meaningful. Quality over quantity, right? Join communities. And it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to be vulnerable. You have to let people see the real you. You have to let people see you being transparent, not just polished or successful, but transparent, right? And I know I'm gonna go over a little bit. I'm going over just a little bit. Final Boss family, right? Because there's another harsh reality. And a lot of people aren't talking about it, but it's something I witnessed. And this is across the world, particularly amongst young people. The hope for the future is at a historic low. Surveys show that the majority of young adults don't believe they'll be better off than their parents for the first time. They don't believe they'll be able to afford homes. They don't believe they'll be able to retire. They don't believe the major problems facing humanity will be solved. Climate despair, economic pessimism, economically, their thoughts are they have pessimist, optimistic, pessimistic. I don't know why I can say that. Political cynicism, technology anxiety, social division, mental health crisis. The cumulative weight of all these challenges has created a sense of inevitable decline. And we're seeing the rise of doomerism, the belief that collapse is inevitable and individual action is meaningless. Birth rates are plummeting. People don't want to bring children into this world. Career ambitions are being replaced by quiet quitting and bare minimum effort. The prevailing mood is why try when it doesn't matter? Why plan for a future when it may not exist? Why hope? Why hope when hope leads to disappointment? And Final Boss family, I'm going to tell you, man, I'm not even going to lie. I'm not going to lie to you. This is a challenge. Everything we've talked about tonight has been a challenge. The problems are massive. The obstacles are genuine and the threats are serious. But here's what I understand about the world that we live in. A shift is happening. A shift is happening. The depth of the crisis is the measure of the opportunity. Bars. Let me say that one more time. The depth of the crisis is the measure of the opportunity. And Final Boss family, every single major problem that we've discussed represents a business opportunity, a career path, a chance to make a difference, a purpose worth pursuing. Economic equality, that's an opportunity to build businesses that create real value and good jobs. Political division, that's an opportunity to be the bridge builder, the mediator, the leader who unites. Mental health crisis, that's an opportunity to create solutions, offer support, build community. Climate change, that's literally the biggest business opportunity in human history. Technology disruption, that's a chance to develop the human skills that will always matter. Information crisis. That's an opportunity to be a truth teller in the world of lies. Loneliness pandemic. That's a chance to build genuine community with real connection. And of course, the Final Boss fired up train principle. There is perseverance and resilience. Not just talking about surviving a crisis, but using a crisis as a fuel for your train, for your fired up train. And here's what history teaches us. The people who make the biggest differences are those who see possibility where others see only problems. The entrepreneurs who build during recessions, the leaders who unite during division, the innovators who solve what seems unsolvable. All right. And the hope protocol to my motivators. They reframe crisis as calling. What problems break your heart? That's where your purpose lies or lives. What challenges make you angry? That's where your mission is found. Focus on the circle of influence. You can't control global systems, but you can control your response, your choices, your contribution, your character. We focus on what's wrong and ignore what's getting better. Life expectancy is up globally. Poverty is actually down. Technology is advancing. Solutions are being found. Progress is real. It's just not marketed as well as crisis, because crisis makes money. Hope isn't a feeling, it's an action. Every time you take a step toward solution, you generate hope for not only yourself, but for others as well. Hope comes from being part of something larger than yourself, a community, a mission, a movement, being a part of the Final Boss family. And the truth is this: pessimists don't, this is the truth that pessimists don't understand. Cynicism is easy, hope is hard, but hope is what changes the world. Every major advancement in human history came from people who hoped when hope seemed foolish, who tried when trying seemed pointless, who believed when belief seemed naive. Martin Luther King, Gandhi, Nelson Mandela, these were warriors who understood that hope is a discipline, not a disposition, right? When optimism fades, purpose emerges. When things look darkest, that's when light matters most. When the world says give up, that's when final bosses, motivators, warriors, and smarts say, let's go. The fired up train runs on hope, not blind optimism, but purposeful, action oriented, reality based hope. Hope that acknowledges the problems while focusing on the solutions. Hope that sees the crisis and chooses to be a part of the cure. Your train keeps moving, powered by purpose, driven by hope, headed toward a future, a better future. The help is on the way. And that help is you. And that help you could create, right? So all aboard the hope train. All aboard the hope train. And listen, how do you find motivation when everything seems like it's motivating you to quit? This is where the rubber meets the road. This is where theory becomes practice. This is where the fired up train metaphor becomes your actual life. Let me tell you something about motivation that most motivational speakers won't tell you. Motivation is not a feeling, it's a system. And you want to know why most people fail with motivation? Because they're waiting to feel motivated. They're waiting for inspiration to strike. They're waiting for circumstances to improve. They're waiting for someone else to give them permission or encouragement. And while they're waiting, life is passing them by. Opportunities are disappearing. Time is running out. The world is changing and they're still waiting to feel motivated. Final Boss family, we don't wait for motivation. We engineer it. We build systems that create motivation regardless of circumstances. We understand that motivation is the first pillar of the fired up train. And it's the pillar that powers all others. And here's how to engineer your motivation in a demotivating world. Right? You have to connect with your why first. Your why is your cornerstone of magnificence. When economic pressure hits you, your why reminds you why you're building wealth. When division surrounds you, your why reminds you what you stand for. When hope fades, your why is the light that keeps burning. Your why isn't, I want to be successful. Your why is deep. Your why is, I want to provide security for my family so they never experience fear that I felt. Your why is, I want to create solutions that help others overcome challenges. Your why is, I want to build a legacy that proves what's possible to the next generation. Write your why out. Make it emotional. Make it about others. Make it so powerful that reading it brings tears to your eyes and fire to your belly. That's what you need to do. Right? That's what you need to do. And listen, I know I went over a little bit, and I only have an hour. I could do this all night. I could do this all night long. I know the football game is on. I know people are getting ready for bed, but I could go all night, man. You know, but before I close out, I want you guys to know this. Final Boss family, Final Boss Nation. You, yes, you cannot reach excellence alone. In the world of individualism, in a culture that worships the self-made billionaire, in an environment that says, I don't need anyone, I'm here to tell you the uncomfortable truth about that. That's a lie. It keeps you small. Nobody, and I mean nobody, achieves excellence in isolation. Not in business, not in sports, not in art, not in any domain that matters. Every successful entrepreneur had mentors, partners, investors, employees, and customers. Every champion athlete had coaches, teammates, trainers, and supporters. Every great artist had teachers, collaborators, patrons, and audiences. Excellence is a community sport. Excellence is a community sport. You cannot do it alone. As a matter of fact, every crisis is either worsened by isolation or is eased by community. It's community, like the Final Boss podcast community. This is why we exist. The things I've been involved in succeeded because of community. Character developed because of community. When I wanted to quit, community, accountability kept me going. When I needed capital, community provided investment. When I faced challenges I couldn't solve alone, community offered wisdom. When I achieved success, community celebrated with me in ways that made it meaningful. Without community, I would be nowhere. and neither will you. This is why we're not just a podcast audience. We're building a family. This is why we use the hashtags smarts, final bosses, motivators, warriors. These aren't just labels. They're identity markers that connect us. When you identify as part of the Final Boss family, you have accountability partners who care about your growth. You have mentors who've walked the path before you. You have peers who are fighting the same battles. You have people to mentor who accelerate your own learning through teaching. You have a community that demands your excellence while supporting your journey, right? That's why we're here. Thank you, Fourth Clan. I appreciate you. I'm looking at the clock now. I'm going to shut it down. Oh, man. Final Boss family, Final Boss Nation. Here we are, right? At the end of episode 140 for Motivation Monday. We started at this journey looking at the world on fire. And I haven't lied to you. The challenges are real. The problems are massive. The obstacles are genuine. But here's what we've discovered together. The world being on fire doesn't mean your fired up train stops. It means your train has the fuel it needs. We looked at economic pressure and found that scarcity creates innovation. We examined political division and discovered that when the world splits, leaders unite. We faced the mental health crisis and learned that when minds break, character builds. We confronted environmental challenges and saw that when the planet heats up, purpose rises. We acknowledged technology disruptions and understood that when AI threatens jobs, humans develop souls. We recognized the information crisis and committed that when truth dies, character decides. We felt the loneliness pandemic and pledged that when connection fails, community rises. We stared at the hope deficit and declared that when optimism fades, purpose emerges. Then we engineered motivation in a demotivating world. We practice strategic sacrifice in a comfort obsessed culture. We committed to consistency in chaos. We integrated all 6 pillars into one unstoppable system. We embrace community over isolation. Family, Final Bosses, Final Boss Nation. 60 minutes happened 18 minutes ago. If you've been feeling discouraged, overwhelmed, or hopeless, it's okay. It's valid. The world gives us plenty of reasons to feel that way. But my job on Motivation Monday isn't to pretend the problems don't exist. My job is to show you that you can thrive anyway. You can grow anyway. You can win anyway. Because ultimately, this comes down to choice. And right now, in this moment, you have a decision to make. Will you let the world's chaos stop your train? Or will you use the world's challenges as fuel? Will you become a victim of circumstances or a final boss who creates circumstances? Will you wait for the world to improve before you start improving, or will you start improving and contribute to the world's improvement? Will you let economic pressure crush your dreams, or will you let it sharpen your hustle? Will you let division destroy your character, or will you let it define your character as someone who unites? Will you let challenges defeat you, or will you let challenges develop you? Your fired up train is at the station right now. The engine is running. powered by the 6 pillars of success: motivation, sacrifice, consistency, perseverance, persistence, and resilience. Final Boss family, we're already on board. My warriors, my motivators, my smarts. These are individuals who made the same choice that you can make. The destination is excellence. The journey is character development. The community is real. The opportunity is now. I am your conductor. Your future self is calling. All aboard is the final call. All aboard. The doors are open. Your ticket is valid. Everything you've learned is your boarding pass. Your seat is reserved. You belong in this community of excellence, but the train is leaving right now, not tomorrow, not when conditions improve, not when you feel more ready, right now. So here's my question for you. Are you boarding? Are you committing to the 6 pillars of success? Are you engaging your why? Are you making strategic sacrifices? Are you maintaining consistency? Are you joining the community? Are you becoming a final boss? We're all capable, right? We're all capable. And guess what? Talking to you. I believe you are. I believe you're boarding the fired up train. I believe you're choosing excellence over easy. I believe you know purpose over comfort. I believe you know that character over circumstances. I believe you know that growth is more important than stagnation. I believe that you know that community beats isolation every single day. So let me hear you say it. Even if you're alone, even if you're in your car, whatever you're doing, say it out loud. I am boarding the fired up train. I am a warrior. I am a motivator. I am becoming a final boss. My train is moving now. My time is now. My moment is now. The world is on fire, but you're not running from the flames. You're using them as fuel. The world is in crisis, but you're not paralyzed by the fear. You're energized by purpose. The world is chaotic, but you're not overwhelmed. You're becoming unstoppable because you understand what others don't. Every crisis is crucial. Every challenge is a teacher. Every obstacle is an opportunity. Every setback is a setup. You understand that excellence isn't accidental, it's engineered. The character isn't optional, it's essential. That success isn't solo, it's community. You understand that the fired up train doesn't stop for storms, it doesn't wait for perfect conditions, and it doesn't quit when things get hard. It keeps moving, powered by purpose, driven by character, heading toward magnificence. Fighter Boss family, this is episode number 140. Thank you all for being a part of this episode. And most importantly, thank you for boarding the fired up train, right? Thank you for joining and being a part of the fired up train, right? I appreciate you. Thank you for being a part of this community. Thank you for committing to excellence in a world that's okay with mediocrity. You're smart, and you're smart enough to build systems that work. You're a warrior. You're strong enough to fight battles that matter. You're a motivator, powerful enough to inspire through example. You're becoming a final boss that's capable enough to master your own destiny. Keep developing those 6 pillars. Keep engaging with the community. Keep moving your fired up train forward. And when you need motivation, come back to this episode. Come back to the Final Boss family. We're here, we're moving, and we're waiting for you to accelerate alongside with us. I am the Final Boss, also known as Turbodillard, and I'm the host of the Final Boss podcast. Reminding you that the moment is now. Your train is moving now. Your excellence is being built right now. The world may be on fire, but your fired up train keeps moving. All aboard, Final Boss family. All aboard, Final Boss family. And with that, please allow all of that and this episode to marinate in your spine. And remember, there's a heavy pain that comes with discipline, but the pain of regret it's even heavier. This has been the Final Boss Podcast, episode 140. I am here, and I all want you to know that I wish you all, no matter where you are, what time you're watching, a good morning, a good afternoon, a good evening, and good night. Be balanced, be equal, and be smart. This has been the Final Boss Podcast, episode number 140, The World on Fire. Hope you enjoyed the show. See you tomorrow night for Tech Tuesday with my Text Me, the Sensei. Same time, 9 p.m. See you then.
Welcome to the Final Boss Podcast, where microphones and mushroom clouds collide in the most mind-blowing chats. We're talking explosive topics, fiery debates, and the hottest guests. Imagine a creative space background, spacey vibes, and out-of-this-world conversations. It's like chilling with your best buddies, but with way cooler sound effects. Every episode, we take on the universe's biggest questions. You know, the stuff that keeps you up at night. And we do it with a bang. Want to know what happens when you mix gaming, movies, and pop culture? Boom! You get the Final Boss Podcast. So plug in those earbuds and get ready for a wild ride. Whether you're commuting, chilling, or just need a break, we've got your back. Hit that follow button and join us on this cosmic journey. Trust me, you don't want to miss these explosive chats. Catch the Final Boss Podcast now, where every episode is a blast. Stay tuned and stay awesome. Final Boss Podcast, bringing the boom to you.